Hello and welcome to Branding for Impact, a podcast of bite-sized branding and business tips to help you make an impact your own way. I'm your host, Roseanne, designer, dog lover, Hong Konger, and founder of Prison Creative. Join me as we talk about all things branding, marketing, and myth-busting when it comes to building a business with impact. Whether you're an NGO, social enterprise, or a business ready to create a bigger purpose, this is the podcast for you. Apple, Nike, Facebook. No doubt, as I said these brand names, an image must have flashed through your mind. This is how powerful branding can be. No doubt one of the first things you'd be thinking about when starting a new business or organization is a logo design. But where to start? And how much money and time should you spend on it? Now, while I'm in the business of creating logo designs myself, I often actually tell my clients that they don't need one. Not yet anyway. You see, a logo is only one aspect of your brand. When we think about brands like Apple, Nike, and Facebook, it wouldn't have been their logo on its own that flashed through your mind, was it? It might have been Steve Jobs, a Nike campaign, or Facebook's platform itself, and attached to that some sort of meaning, a memory, or a feeling. In this episode, I'm going to share why you shouldn't invest all your money into a logo design, and instead to first focus on answering one key question that will help set your brand up for success. To make your life easier, we've prepared a downloadable worksheet linked in the show notes. It includes the questions we'll be walking through today and a few bonus actionable tips, so make sure you head over to our link and check it out. So let's get into it. What's a logo anyway? Bit of trivia for you. The term brand dates back to almost 4,500 years ago, when shepherds identified their herd by branding their initials into the skin of their livestock. That was pretty much the first iteration of a logo. Nowadays, obviously, the role of a logo has moved beyond that, but its core purpose is still for differentiation, to tell you apart from others in the same industry. Now, very often, I see people fall into the trap of putting too much time, energy, and resources trying to perfect a logo. And a lot of times we try to pack so much meaning into a logo that we lose sight of the bigger picture. But the logo doesn't need to tell the whole story of your brand. It really is only there to identify the essence of your brand. That's why we call the visual system that a logo belongs to a brand identity. Now, in our modern world, there are so many ways we interact with a brand, whether that's your products, your services, social media, packaging, offline retail, ads, and the list will just keep growing. So now more than ever, brands need to think beyond just what a logo looks like. Because every touch point, it's an opportunity to build trust and association. And when we're able to do that, we give a logo meaning. That is where the value of your brand lies. We need to start thinking about brands as a whole, and then how the logo fits into that picture, not the other way around. So, are you ready for the first part of the million-dollar question? It's nothing mind-blowing, really. First of all, what's your 10-year vision? Successful brands foresee how they play a role in our future world. Not just solving the problems of today, but enriching future lives. Some even say a successful social enterprise is when your service is no longer needed because you have solved that problem. Now, don't be afraid to dream big here. That's why you're starting this journey of entrepreneurship, right? Or building a purposeful organization. 10 years is a good time frame to work with because it gets you to think big. But it's also not so far-fetched that you feel disconnected from it. Don't worry, we're not asking you to become a Nike overnight. Just think about big yet attainable goals. If this feels overwhelming, simply start with revisiting your why. Why did you want to start this business or organization? Was it an injustice that you saw? An idea to do something in a better way? And how do you see this problem being solved with what you do? Now let this why run through every vein of your brand. Your why is the purpose, cause, or belief behind what you're doing. Let it be the guiding North Star of how you set your impact metrics, build out a team, the messaging behind your campaigns, the people you partner with, and even down to the packaging that you source. And this will all take time, Because branding is a long-term investment. The best brands are the ones that have grown with us over the years. Let's take Nike as an example. Nike's logo was actually created in 1971 for $35 US. That's the equivalent to around $236 now. Today, it is a business worth $15.9 billion US. And around the world, Nike's swoosh is the reason why people line up overnight to get their hands on the latest pair of Air Maxes. It's the reason why top athletes work with them. When you choose Nike, you choose to be part of something bigger than yourself. So you see, successful brands tell people what they believe in and what they stand for. They create brands with heart. Nike became a lifestyle with their powerful messaging of, if you have a body, you're an athlete. These values are Nike's why that have become embedded with meaning and resonate with millions around the world. And that is why Nike's logo is so instantly recognizable today. If you're interested to hear more about finding your why, I highly recommend to check out Simon Sinek's TED Talk, How Great Leaders Inspire Action. Basically, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Human beings are wired to want to belong to something and give meaning to the things around them. Another terrific example of two brands to compare are Toys R Us and Lego. Now, Toys R Us, as we know, is really struggling. With the likes of Amazon, Walmart, and Target coming in with such competitive edge, Toys R Us failed to identify what made them truly unique. It was really difficult to build brand loyalty and didn't give people a reason to choose them over everyone else. Lego, on the other hand, did you know, almost went bankrupt in 2013. They were doing too many things, and although they were making terrific toys, a lot of their products didn't actually cater to what their audience wanted. So they made a brave decision to double down on just one core vision: joy of building, pride of creation, and focus on their core product, the humble Lego brick. The empire that is Lego today still focuses on these two core pillars. So you see, building a future-proof brand just needs to start with something very simple and clear. Now, part 2 of the million-dollar question. Who does it serve? Logos and brands are here to create emotional connection. Think about your favorite brand. What makes you choose them time and time again? Maybe it's because of great customer service. Or maybe because putting on those pair of running shoes makes you feel like you can achieve anything. Or maybe a scent brings you back to a moment in your life. Successful brands are the ones that feel deeply human. They are able to provide richer experiences and connect with you on a deeper level. A big part of Lego's success is they really got to understand their audience, what they wanted, and what the joy of building and creating something from scratch could bring to people, no matter your age. So get very clear on who exactly it is you're talking to, because then you'll attract the right people, and they will choose you today and they will choose you tomorrow. Think about who your people are and what you'd like them to say about your brand in 10 years' time. Now, I know that NGOs face an additional set of challenges because they actually have two audiences. First, you have your direct beneficiaries, and second, volunteers, donors, and partners. And it's totally okay to have different audiences. Think of your brand as a person. When we find ourselves in different situations, speaking to different people, we may take on different roles, right? And different ways of communicating, but we're still the same person. For example, if we think about a chef who is an advocate for sustainability. On their menu, they feature a lot of local produce, they cook seasonally, and make the most of every ingredient. For their kids' menu, although for a different audience group, it's not like they would create something completely different, because those are the values that they stand by. It would still be the same concept, just different seasonings or plating to appeal more to children's likings and taste buds. So think about the role you want to play in people's lives and how you're here to make their lives better. Okay, so to sum it up, don't invest everything into a logo design. First, ask yourself the question, what's your 10-year vision and who does it serve? Because meaning is built into logos over time, over dedication, and showing up for your audience. We also talked about going into it with clarity. Think about why you're doing this. What purpose, cause, or belief is behind what you're doing? And who this matters to? Because a logo only matters when people value what's behind it. Think about some of your favorite brands. Why do you always choose them over others? Maybe there's something you could borrow from them. Finally, start with the right mindset and invest in the long run. Think about the legacy you want to leave behind and what you'd want people to say about you in 10 years' time. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I know this is a lot to take in, but we're here to help. Download our worksheet in our show notes to go through these questions and actionable tips in your own time. I promise it'll be worth it and it will bring you so much clarity and confidence. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd love if you could share it with friends. You can tag us on Instagram and Facebook on prismcreative.co, and it would mean the world to me if you could leave a rating or review here. Please remember to hit subscribe so that you don't miss the next episode of our bite-sized branding and marketing tips for impact. Thank you so much for listening and see you next time.